So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to line up your timing marks on the 4-liter or anything, put it at top dead center. Teach you how to mark this so that you can transfer it or pull it out for service. Say you're doing a timing cover on a 4.2 liter on a Ford, and be able to put it back in and still have your timing intact. So here we go, here's how you do it. So I've got the timing set up to where the teeth are facing each other, and I've done this on both of the motors. And so then the next thing to do is to line up what I affectionately call the abomination sensor. It's a camshaft position sensor, but it's based on an old distributor design. It's kind of a shortcut method of engineering, if you will. So the first thing you need to do is you need to find top dead center. You need to get the number 1 piston at the very top position, and then while it's at the top position, I like to have these marks lined up just for easy reference when transferring or doing any manipulation to the timing on the engine. So what we'll do is we'll rotate the motor around to the camshaft position sensor, or as I like to call it, the distributor abomination sensor. It senses abomination in engineering design. But what you do is you take off these 2 bolts. At least it's serviceable, right? Instead of a distributor, they made a camshaft position sensor based on the distributor design. So you set that aside, and then the next thing that you do is mark where the very front of this is to the body of the sensor, and then also, as you can see, I've got a little red mark where the sensor part is, or the what do you call it? You call it it's like an exciter ring or pulse ring or something like that, but it's just a half circle ring. And on the inside of the actual camshaft position sensor, it's just got a magnet that detects when it passes through here. So we'll set the actual camshaft position sensor aside, and as we pull this up, you'll notice that it moves. You see how it's going counterclockwise as I pull it up? Now the position of it has changed. It used to be man, that mark width's perfect. It used to be here, and now it's rotated here. So if I put it into the new motor in this position, when its timing gear is lined up, it should drop into the same thing. Let's see if my theory is correct. With no editing, this is complete brutal honesty. You can see I've got my timing marks on the new engine lined up in the similar fashion. So I come over to the hole where the abomination camshaft position sensor goes, and we'll put it in and see what it does. I don't know how I'm going to work this tripod for this. Bear with me. Crank that up there, and that should get it right like that. I'm not the best key grip in the world. I don't know if I've ever told you that, and I'm not a huge fan of editing. See the way that these are all spiraled? So as this drops in there, it's going to slide through the teeth that are on the camshaft, and the camshaft is on the end of this gear. Crankshaft's a little gear, big gear's a camshaft. So the camshaft should turn 1 revolution for every 2 revolutions that the crankshaft does. That's how you get your dead cylinder stroke. So, and then this keys into the oil pump. This is actually the oil pump drive gear. So maybe I should mount the oil pump before doing this. But for sake of the video and the no editing, get her done, put together thing, we'll just do this. So there's my mark to the outside. I've already marked this block with a little red paint. So I'll drop this into place. And remember, this will be like that, so that when I drop it in, it should fall into place. And this way I can make multiple attempts as much as I need to in order to make that happen. So it drops into place, the timing is correct. I've got the body of it lined up with the base there. So I should be able to take my securing tab and bolt and just put them in there and be good to go. It goes where a distributor would normally go on a 4-liter motor. Ford uses these on their 4.2 liter motors. They use them on the 5.4 and on the 4.6, depending on the year. But it's basically just like a distributor, but it's used as a camshaft position sensor. Instead of having a distributor type ignition, this employs an ignition coil that goes across all the way across the motor on all the plugs. So here's where the spark plug holes are. There's a coil pack that goes all over that. So the crankshaft position sensor is actually on the transmission, and it goes down into a hole back behind here, and that's the crank sensor. And then the cam sensor is just this top portion here. The cam sensor is basically the cap that goes on this mock-up distributor. It just has that little half circle that you see here pass through here for the camshaft position, or as I affectionately term this one, the abomination sensor. So instead of using a different camshaft and then just a plug-and-play sensor that you can't screw up, you have this whole twisty distributor, prone to problems and prone to heat issues design. Anyway, it's probably awesome and miraculous. I just misunderstand it, right? Right.